Hello, my friend. It's Heather Dunlop with Thriving Woman. Thank you for coming back and joining me live today or on the broadcast if you're on the watching the replay. So, what we're talking about this week, all week, is identity. How does it form? How do we change it? What can we do? And how does our identity really impact our results? So, I talked with you Monday about how identity gets created when we're young, right? It's created by our environment. We just absorb everything because we don't have that conscious filter to say, nope, I don't want that in and stop it. We didn't know how to prevent those thoughts from coming in that would change who we are. So we end up with an identity, and it may not be our own identity because, like I said, it's something that we comes from our environment and everybody we're around, school, family, friends, everything. And we just absorb that and becomes part of our belief system. And our belief creates our identity. Yesterday, I talked about fake it till you make it. How fake it till you make it is never going to get you to where you want to go because of that one word, fake. You're not being your authentic, true self, and your brain knows that. So it's not going to allow you to fully step into that person because it says you're faking it. So, what I want to share with you today is your identity and how do you step into a new identity? How do you refresh it? How do you say, this is what I want to identify myself as? How do you go about that? First step, you have to decide you want to change your identity. So, part of that is saying, what is my identity today? What are the beliefs that I have that are running on autopilot in my brain that are creating the identity I have today? Right? So, do you identify as a survivor? Do you identify as a victim? Do you identify as the person who came out of that with strength? How do you identify yourself? And that's what we really want to talk about. You get to decide to change that, right? So that's the very first thing is deciding who you want to be. What do you want your identity to be? What do you want to say when you say, I am? How do you want to finish that sentence? On autopilot, automatically. So it's just running in your brain because when you choose your identity and you have those beliefs built into your brain that are running on autopilot, you'll automatically take the steps and actions that will create that in your life. All right. So changing your identity, it begins with the decision to change. The second part of it is you need to make conscious effort, conscious thoughts to change what's coming out, right? So when you're in the process of changing your identity, you have your old identity here and it's really strong, it's super strong. And the other one's kind of floating away back here, just, I don't know. And it's going to get to a point where they're kind of like even and there's a little battle going on in your brain that says, which one am I? And you have to keep pushing forward with the new one and working on that and consciously making an effort to create that one and create the new beliefs and automated thoughts. So, as we're removing the old identity, we're building up the new one, right? So, that's what we're going to work on when you take conscious effort. And what do I mean by that? When you have the thoughts that come up from that old identity you want to remove, you want to consciously tell your brain, nope, that's not acceptable. The new thought that I have when this I come across this situation is boom, right? So I'll use the example of I'm a survivor, that's my old identity, to I'm a thriver, my new, stronger identity. What are the thoughts that I had to change, right? So if I had a thought that came up and said, I'm a survivor, I have to keep a secret. I was like, oh no, stop. Consciously be aware of the thoughts and say, stop. No, that is not a thought that I want to have. Let me upgrade that. Let me change it, right? And I use snaps to get my brain to pay attention. Let me change that. The new thought is, I am a thriver. I am someone who came through a lot and I have strength within me to live the life that I choose to live. So the more I consciously make that change, anytime a survivor type thought comes up, like I have to keep the secret. I should feel guilty about what was done to me. I should feel shame and not tell anybody. No. Any of those thoughts that would come up in my head, I would say, nope, that's not acceptable. I'm changing that. That's no longer who I am. I am not a survivor. I am a thriver. And as a thriver, I don't keep secrets about it. As a thriver, I don't feel shame. So I consciously make a decision to tell my brain, this is the new path we're building, right? So you change your thoughts. That's the third step, is work on changing those thoughts. So how do you know what's actually happening when you're changing those thoughts? When you're in that point where the old identity is still pretty strong and the new one is just starting to build, and then you reach that point typically about 20, 21 days in, somewhere around that range. You know, you've heard habits take 21 days to create. Well, we need to go further, right? So at about 21 days, they're of a pretty equal strength. And your brain's kind of saying, which way you want to go? Which one are you going to choose? Because I know this one's safe and familiar. Let's keep you there. And you're saying consciously, no, this is who I am. I am a thriver. And as a thriver, I don't keep secrets. I don't feel shame. I no longer feel guilty. I take steps to get me to living a wonderful, joyful, happy, loving, trusting life, filled with success in all that I dream of. So 21 days, you don't want to stop there. You don't want to let that old one win. You need to continue to do the work to change your thoughts and consciously decide to change your thoughts. And that's how you're going to create your new identity. It takes conscious work. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen by listening to what someone else wants you to listen to. Affirmations are good to a certain level. They're surface level, though. They don't really get into your brain and change your brain, right? That's why it needs to be your decision and it needs to be your new thoughts. You get to decide what those thoughts are. It's not what someone else tells you they should be. It's what you decide those new thoughts are and the identity you want to create for yourself. All right. So to change your identity, decide to change it. Take conscious work, pay attention to what's going on up there, and choose to change your thoughts and tell your brain, this is good. I'm going to celebrate it because I'm now having these wonderful new thoughts. And that is going to create the belief that drives your identity and the belief that you're a thriver, that you can do this, that you get to choose to have the life you want. If this is resonating with you and you want to take it a level deeper, happy to hop on a call with you. Just schedule a call. It's going to be in the first link below. It's a quick 15-minute call, and let's take this a level deeper so that you can begin to create the identity that you choose to create for yourself. This is Heather Dunlap with Thriving Woman. Always remember, you have strength within you.